Hello everyone. In today's session we'll discuss about the architecture of 8085 microprocessor. So as you see in the figure, it consists of various blocks like register set, instruction register and decoder, timing and control circuit, arithmetic and logic unit, interrupt control, serial input output control, address and data buffers, so on. So now in this session we will try to understand each block in detail. So first let us understand the internal bus. So what are the various kinds of buses we have on the 8085 microprocessor? 8085 microprocessor has 16-bit address bus. So having a 16-bit address bus 2 power 16, it can address up to 64 KB of memory locations. So starting from, as I told you, 0000 to FFFF, this is the address range. So many memory locations the 8085 is capable of addressing. And address bus is unidirectional. So why it is unidirectional? Whether it is a read operation or write operation. So usually it may be a memory read operation or IO read operation, memory write operation or IO write operation. In both the cases, the microprocessor identifies which memory location it has to read or write from, or which IO device it has to read or write from. So that is the reason the address flows from the microprocessor. The address flows from microprocessor to the memory or to the IO device. So that is the reason address bus is unidirectional. And coming to the data bus. Data bus is 8-bit size and it is bidirectional. So why it is bidirectional? Because the address flow may be from the microprocessor to the memory and microprocessor to the IO device. But when it comes to the data may come from the memory into the microprocessor, or the microprocessor may write the data onto the memory. Same case when it is an IO also. The microprocessor may write the data onto the IO device or from the IO device to the microprocessor. So that is the reason data bus is bidirectional. And coming to the control bus. So various control signals like memory read, memory write, IO write, read control, read, write, hold acknowledgement, all these control signals, they are also bidirectional. The control bus is also bidirectional. So this is about the internal bus. Address bus 16-bit and it is unidirectional. Data bus 8-bit, it is bidirectional. Control bus, it is bidirectional. Now when we try to understand each block in detail, we first start with the function of the microprocessor. The first thing what we expect from the microprocessor is to execute the program written. So for example, the programmer has wrote a program and he will be saving in a memory location, and how do the microprocessor fetches the code, execute them and give out the result or act according to the program. So we will start with the program counter. Program counter is a 16-bit register. First and foremost, the program counter is a 16-bit register, and always remember program counter holds the address. It holds the address of the next instruction to be executed. So to understand it, let's take an example. So in our example, these are your set of memory locations. These are the set of memory locations, and assume that you have written your program at 1000 location, 1000, 1001, 1002, 1003, and this is what the code, some A, B, B, C, C, D, D, or you can take your XX, YY, ZZ something. So you wrote your program from the location 1000, and now you want this program to be executed by, so this is what is my memory, and from the 1000 I have stored my program, and I want my microprocessor to execute the program. So first thing what do we do is, where is the program saved? It is saved from the 1000 location. So that address will be placed in the program counter. So program counter will be placed with the 1000 address. So once the program counter has the 1000 address, what does it do? It places on the address bus. So what is that address bus? A0 to A7, A8 to A15, 16. So now we are not talking about the data. So this will act as the address bus, and this also acts as a address bus in the initially. Initially it acts as an address bus. So once it is acting as an address bus, A0 to A7, we place these two zeros on the A0 to A7 and 1 0 on the higher order address bus. So what do the buses do? They pick up the content of this 1000 memory location. And what is the content of the memory location? AA is the content of the memory location. It is not the address. It is the content of the memory location. The content of the memory location is picked up by data bus. It is picked up by data bus. So what is the data? AA, and it is placed on the data lines. See here. Now your AD0 to AD7 bus acts as a data bus and picks up the data for you, which is AA. Some random information, for example, we have taken here. So AA. This AA will be, see here, there is a line here. This AA will be placed on this your internal bus. So what is the example here we are discussing? We have written a small piece of code from the 1000 location, and 1000 address we have kept it in the program counter, and using the A0 to A16 bus we have placed the address on the address bus and fetched the content of that memory location on the data bus and given to the internal bus. And next is your increment and decrement. So what is this increment and decrement register is doing? The increment and decrement register is going to increment or decrement the contents of the program counter or the stack pointer. So we know that the stack pointer holds the address. Program counter also holds the address. So whenever we want to, as per the intention of the program, as per the code, whenever it has to increment or decrement, it is done by this increment decrement register, which is also 16-bit. So now what happened? We got the data and we kept it on the internal bus. So once it is there on the internal bus, see here, we have picked up the instruction from the 1000 location. So first the instruction will be placed in the instruction register. So what is happening here? Instruction register holds the instruction which is fetched from the memory. From the memory, whatever you are fetching, it will be first placed in the instruction register, and then we have the instruction decoder. The instruction decoder is going to decode the instruction and give out the machine code of it. Means machine language is nothing but the binary in all zeros and ones form. And those signals or those ones and zeros are given to the timing and control circuit. So if you see the timing and control circuit, there are many signals x1, x2, clock, ready, read, write, ALE, S0, S1, IO by M bar, hold and reset. This we will try to understand in the pinout diagram session. You can refer to the pinout diagram video lecture for understanding the functionality of these pins. But for now, understand that timing and control circuit generates appropriate signals required for instruction execution. In order to execute that instruction, whatever the control signals it has to generate, it will generate. And for example, if the microprocessor is interfaced to some input output device, then the interfacing signals, depending upon the program, it also generates the your interfacing signals, and also the control circuitry, if at all it is used as a controlling element, it also generates the control signals. And now let's talk about the ALU. So for this already we know that ALU does all the arithmetic and logical operations. So we will take an example. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. So we are trying to add two numbers. So 2 is the operand 1, 3 is the operand 2, and 5 is the result. If same thing I want to write in code for it, this is what the code, add B. What do this add B do? Add B means here impliedly we use the A register. So A, the content of A. So we will place 2 in the accumulator register and we will place 3 in the B register, and the result will be collected in the accumulator register again. So first place this 2 here, 3 in the B register, and result will be seen in the accumulator register. Now here the point to be understood is the accumulator holds operand 1. The accumulator holds the operand 1 as well as it stores the result also, and temporary register holds the operand 2. So actually where is the operand 2? Operand 2 is in the B register. Operand 2 is in the B register. So from the B register it will be taken to the temporary register. So here the accumulator content will be 2, and from the B register, let's go back. Yeah, from this B register, because in the B register it was 3 was there in the B register. So from the B register the content will be taken into the temporary register. So temporary register holds the operand 2 for us, and then ALU performs all arithmetic and logical operations. Anyhow you know this, ALU performs all the arithmetic and logical operations. And what is this flag? See here there was 2 was here, or 2 from accumulator, 3 from the temporary register. ALU has done the addition and 5 is the result. So result will be again placed in the accumulator register through the 8-bit internal data bus. The 5 again will be written back into the accumulator register. And here we have a flag. So what is this flag? Flags is an 8-bit register. It stores the result of the it stores the status of the current result. Status means what? Like what is the type of the result? Whether the result is a negative or a positive result. So it talks about the sign. If the result is a negative, then sign flag will be equal to 1, otherwise it will be equal to 0. And was there any carry generated? If the carry generated during the process, then C will be equal to 1, otherwise 0. a zero flag, parity flag, auxiliary carry flag. So these are the various like flags in the flag register. Again, the flag register topic we will do it in detail in the topic of flag registers of 8085 microprocessor. So as of now, understand it is a 8-bit register and it stores the status of the current result. It is not the result, only the status of the result. Next is your serial input output control block. So we know that like usually for long distance communication, very important, for long distance communication we use the serial communication. So why serial communication? Only a single wire will be running between your transmitter and receiver, and the bit by bit the data will be sent bit by bit to the receiver. So here we have two lines, SID and SOD. SID stands for serial input data. So this line receives the data for us. This line receives the data, and next one is your SOD, serial output data. So this line outputs the data or it transmits the data. Next is your input control. So the interrupts are very important topic in microprocessors. So 8085 has 5 hardware interrupts: trap, RST, 7.5, 6.5, 5.5 and INTR. So whenever input output device wants to communicate with the microprocessor, or whenever the microprocessor has to do certain task, depending upon the requirement, then the input output device raises the signal interrupt. So whenever the microprocessor sees the interrupt signal, depending upon the priority level, it generates the interrupt acknowledgement signal. So this input output block controls the 5 hardware interrupts, incoming interrupts, and also generates the interrupt acknowledgement signal. So this is what is your interrupt acknowledgement. This is your trap is the highest priority interrupt and the INTR is the lowest priority interrupt. So this stands on the top, highest, and this the lowest. So with this we complete the architecture of 8085 microprocessor. Revising once again. So starting with the PC, the program counter holds the address of the next instruction to be executed. So through the address buffer, this places the address on the address buffer in data and the address buffer AD0 to AD7 bus, and on the D0 to D7 they fetch the content of that memory location, and based on the the second operand will be maybe placed, because we don't know what is the program written. So here we have taken add B. So one of the first operand in the accumulator, second operand in the B register, and here the first is here the instruction will be placed in the instruction register, and from the instruction register it would be decoded, and after decoding it is given to the timing and control circuit to generate the necessary control signals. And because we have taken the example add B. So one of the operand is in the accumulator register and the second operand is in the B register, and from the B register we take it to the temporary register and it is given to the ALU. So the contents of the accumulator and the contents of the B register are added up in the ALU, and the result will be again placed back in the accumulator register. And flag register will be saving the status of the current result. We have a serial input output control in order to receive the serial data and transmit the serial data. And interrupt control block completely controls the 5 hardware interrupts and the acknowledgement signal. The acknowledgement signal is given by the microprocessor based on the priority levels, and trap is highest priority and INTR is the lowest priority interrupt. Thank you all.